Hi everyone. Welcome to this video that you need to watch all the way through. And hopefully it's helpful for you. It gives you helpful information. I was looking at my face in the corner, but I should look at the lens. I'm also only going to do this in one take. So, who knows how many times I'm going to mess up. It doesn't matter, just so you know. So just prepare yourselves for all kinds of awkward things happening in this video because I'm not willing to record it again. Hopefully this video is helpful for you. It gives you information. I will try and make it as short as possible, but I do want it to be helpful. There will be one question that you need to answer at the end of the video, and that will earn you points for watching the video. So super important that you watch it all the way through. You answer the question. And then after this video, if you have any more questions, please feel free to email me or text me like so many of you already have this morning. All right, so just to reiterate, right, you do not have live Zoom classes this week. However, you do have work that should have all been posted to you by 9 a.m. this morning from all of your teachers in the Google Classrooms. My work is all due by Friday at midnight. I'm not sure what your other due dates are. I would make sure that you check the due dates. That way you don't accidentally turn something in late. I just want to show you a few things about Google Classroom, and then I'm going to talk about the homework that you completed a couple of weeks ago that introduced your project to you. I'm going to answer some questions about your project, and then I'll wrap up with making sure that, once again, the basics are covered, and then we'll be good to go. All right, so in your Google Classroom, when you go to your English homepage, right, it always takes you automatically to the stream, and normally I tell you to go to classwork, but I did put in the stream these instructions, these like very basic instructions for your asynchronous week, right? So you only have 3 assignments for this week. Your first is Unit 3 quiz corrections under week 23. A lot of you got that done last week. Second is this video, which will be posted under week 23. And then your final assignment will be Mythology Selection Research, which is week 23. And then with number 3, the Mythology Selection Research, there also is a Google form you have to complete, and I will show you that as well. I do have office hours this week from Tuesday to Thursday from 12 to 2. If you have any deep questions or we need to go over anything, and you like message me outside of that, like you email me or something, I'm going to tell you to come to my office hours, only because I am so busy. There's a lot going on this week. I have a lot to do. So I did set aside 2 hours on Tuesday and 2 hours on Thursday to give you any kind of help you need. So if you have any questions, please come Tuesday and Thursday. Don't be surprised if you ask me a question outside of those hours and I say, hey, I would love to go over this with you, but please come to office hours to do that. All right. Once you see this, you go into your classwork. Okay, and you'll see this, asynchronous week 23, 222 to 226, and you will see all of your assignments. They are in the same order as they are in the announcement in your stream, except the video isn't here yet because I haven't posted it, but it will be. So it'll be Unit 3 quiz corrections, it'll be your video that you need to watch and answer, it'll be your mythology selection research, and then this is the Google form that goes with your mythology selection research. So once you complete mythology selection research, click on Google form, and then you'll complete this Google form. Look, 6 people have already done it. But only complete once you've done the actively, right? This mythology selection research is an actively. So you can only do this once you've done this. I would say the best bet is just to complete everything in order. I've tried to organize it that way. Notice how the due date is February 26th. All right, so that is kind of the review for this week, where everything is, where you can find instructions. And then once again, if you need any help from me, you can always email and text me. If you need more help, like a longer amount of time, then come to office hours. All right, so a couple weeks ago, I gave you a Google form as homework, and what you had to do was you had to read the directions for your project. And then as you were reading the directions, you had to answer these questions about your project. So I'm going to review the homework, and then I'm going to go over all the questions that people asked. That way you feel like we've reviewed the projects together and you've had all of your questions answered. All right, so the 3 different mythologies that you can choose from are Norse mythology, Japanese mythology, or African mythology. How many articles of research do you have to have? You have to have 2 to 3 articles of research. 2 to 3 articles of research. Do you need a bibliography for your articles? Yes, you do. Is there another format you would like to use to present your project? So I gave you lots of different formats or ways that you can present, right? You can create a Nearpod, you can create Google Slides, you can create a Prezi. What else did I say? I think I said a PowerPoint. You can make an iMovie. There's lots of different ways that you can present your projects. But I did want to give you a chance to tell me about another kind of presentation if you wanted to. All right. So a lot of you said, like, I'm just going to use Google Slides. No, there's something else I want to use. That's totally fine. I just wanted to allow you to think about it. Question number 4, select all the ways you will be graded during this project. The answer is all 4. So you will be graded on attending and working on the project in class. All right, so every day that you're in class, you are earning participation points. And if you are working, you are earning those participation points. Having specific parts of project done on specific dates, absolutely. So I'm taking this giant project and I am breaking it up into parts that we will be completing throughout class. You will get a grade for each part that you turn in by the due date. Okay. The final presentation, so your actual final project, your presentation, that is going to be a separate assessment grade. That is a grade. And then finally, you are also getting a grade if you decide to present your project to class. You get 5 extra credit points if you do that. Okay. Number 5 was listing a work expectation that might be challenging, and one way that you can commit to meeting that expectation. These were really great answers. Some of us were super thoughtful, so I really appreciated reading those. It was also good for me to read these and be like, okay, this is what the students are going to think. This is what the students think are going to be challenging. So as your teacher, I can kind of set up ways to support you in that. So that was great. Number 6, when is the first date a part of your project is due? When is the first date a part of your project is due? Okay, that makes sense. The correct answer was February 19th, but because of snow days, everything got messed up. So this is no longer valid, which is great. What is more important? What was more important? Including all the information required for your project or having a certain number of slides in your presentation? It's including all the information required for your project. I do not care how many slides you have. I care that you have hit and answered every single one of those questions. Okay? How many weeks do you get to create your presentation in class? So we do research, we do all kinds of things, but as far as like when it actually comes to creating your presentation, you're going to have 2 weeks of class time. So that will be a ton of time for you to work on your project. And then how many points is your final presentation worth? Technically, it is worth 25 if you choose to present your project to the class for those extra 5 points, right? So you could get a 25 out of 20 for an assessment grade. That would be huge for so many of your grades. Okay, so really think about this presentation and push yourself to do it. And then number 10 was, at this point, what questions do you have? So here's what I did. I put all of these questions into a Google Sheet. And then here are the questions on right here. And then I answered the questions right here. So I'm going to go through these questions and go through the answers. All right, so first question, how many slides do we need for the project to be complete? Remember, it doesn't matter how many slides, it just matters that you answer all of those questions. Will we do this during class? Yes. Class time is being created for you to do your project. My vision is that if you stay focused in class every single day and you work, you don't have to work on this outside of class. Am I allowed to work with someone that is doing the same mythology as me? This was a great question. When we are in the gathering research phase, you will be able to talk to people who are working on the same mythology as you. Why isn't it worth 100 points, right? Can this really affect our grade? So here, this is kind of a longer answer. So earning a grade is broken up into lots of different points, right? Earning points for being in class, earning points for having parts of the projects complete, and then the final presentation being 20 assessment points. So it's not a whole 100 points, but once you get all your class points for each day of work, once you get all your all your points in for completing parts of the project, it is going to add up to a lot of points. And then 20 assessment points is a lot of assessment points. So normally your assessment points, like your quizzes and your tests, are like anywhere from 10 to 15. So 20 is a lot. So yes, overall, this will very much affect your grade. Someone asked, can we add certain gods in the mythology? I said you can talk about more specific gods in your chosen mythology if you would like. Let me scroll up. Okay. What is MLA format? It's a specific way to cite your research so I know where you got it. It's what you've used in competition and history. We will review it before I ask you to do it, so don't worry. Why do we have to do these mythologies? I said these are the 3 that will have the most information for you to research. So I wanted to make sure that I chose mythologies where there was enough information that it wouldn't be hard for you to gather research on them. So like, what if you want to represent it in front of the class, but you don't want to speak? So I got this question a few times. So people were like, what if you want to earn those 5 extra credit points, but you don't want to stand in front of your class and present it? Here's my option for you. If you would like to present it and record yourself presenting it and then play the video in front of the class, you can do that instead. And I would still give you the 5 extra credit points if you played it in front of the class. Every week we have to submit a part of the project. Yes. Do we get marks down a point if it's late? No, right? I don't take off points for things being late, but it will be marked missing until you turn it in, which would negatively impact your grade. So it's just important that you're staying focused in class. Could I do a writing and an art piece that represents mythology? Aaliyah, I would love to hear more what you're thinking about this. So if you could reach out to me directly and we could talk about this, I think we can figure something out. Does it have to be pretty? Yes, it does. You earn points for your project on it being neat and colorful. Not necessarily pretty, but neat and colorful. I love color. Can we use more than 3 articles for the project? Absolutely, you can. The project will be graded as a test. Yep, the finished presentation, the finished project will be graded as a test. Let me scroll up. Is there a way for me to get extra credit without presenting to class? Once again, you can record yourself presenting your project and then play it in front of the class. Are you going to be able to help us in class? Absolutely. Everyone's going to be working independently on their project once we're putting it together. And so my job will just be walking around, touching base with you, asking questions, and providing help. When do we start and how do we put the presentation and work all together? We're completing each part of the project together and it's like split up, right? So you're only doing as much as I tell you to do. You're not going ahead and doing any of it on your own. And this is super important. I'm going to be asking very specific things for you. So if you work ahead without me introducing a part of the project to you, you could be doing a part of the project all wrong. And then you wasted all this time doing something wrong because I'm going to ask you to fix it because it's not what I want. So don't work ahead. Stay with us. That's all. If I'm absent, right here, if I'm absent from class for 1 day, that means I cannot get any points for what we're working on, even if I complete it later. So you'll still get points for the completed part of the project, right? Because the specific parts have due dates. So if the part of the project is done on that due date, you're getting points for that. You just won't receive points for that day's participation in class. This won't negatively impact your grade, though. You'll just be marked excused, right? So when you are absent and a teacher excuses you from the assignment, that means that you don't have to do it and it doesn't impact your grade. However, it doesn't help your grade either, right? If you have a bunch of excuse, that means that you're missing out on a lot of points. So it is really important for you to be present in class. Oop, we're almost done. Beautiful. Question 20. Depending on when we start our projects, does that mean our research will be done about what kinds of myths there are in the country you choose? So my response for that is you're choosing a mythology. Not all mythologies will be from a specific country. For example, African mythology is mythology over an entire continent and different people groups. 21, will it make my grade go up? If you complete everything on time and you stay focused on class, this will be a wonderful way to make your grade go up. 22, can we do multiple genres of mythology in one project? I would suggest sticking to one so your project has a focus. And when I say I suggest, I mean you are only choosing one. Just choose one. 23, can we put extra things in the slides that doesn't have to do with the mythology practice? Once again, stay focused on the mythology. If you hit everything and you want to add extra slides that you think round out your presentation more, absolutely. But just make sure you're answering all those questions. If you have a lot of information, but none of your information answers those specific questions, you will fail the project because the project is about answering those questions, okay? 24, how many sentences for each question? So that's a tricky question. I want you to have 3 to 4 bullet points of information per slide, right? So when you have a presentation and you're giving people information, you're not writing a paragraph on a slide and then reading off the paragraph. You're presenting bullet points of information. So when you're answering the questions, I would like you to do it in bullet points. I will review how to do that before I ask you to do it. So do not worry about that. If you don't know how, do not worry about that. 25, do we have to present it in class? No, you do not. You only have to present it if you want those extra credit points. Do we get more time to work on the project since all the snow days we've had? Yes, our entire schedule changed. You do get more days in the main directions. Actually, I can show you. So in Mythology Project directions right here. Ooh, maybe not that one. I'm going to open it and show you. So in the original directions that you should have read when you completed your homework, there's the calendar, right, that I made for you. I changed all the dates on the calendar. The calendar is updated. So if you're curious about what the new turn-in dates are, you can go to these directions and your calendar should reflect that. And once again, as we know, the school year has been super unpredictable. So if the dates change again, I'm not worried about it. I'm honestly just like being very go with the flow here. So if the date changes again, don't worry. I will always change the calendar and due dates so that way it reflects the current dates, right? So now the first part of your project is due on the 26th, right, which is this Friday. Beautiful. All right. Um, 27, I need help gathering information. Absolutely. I will set some guidelines and provide you with resources when we are in our research phase of our project. Don't worry about that. 28, what if we need extra time? Will we get it? I am giving you a ton of class time to get this done. So if you need more time outside of class, then you will have to figure it out on your own. But once again, my vision for this is if you stay focused in class, if you work hard, you shouldn't have to work on it outside of class. So that is the answer to that. And then the very last question was, what is this? LOL. I don't know what we're talking about here. Yeah, so if you don't know what we're talking about, if you're watching this video and you're like, I didn't even do this homework assignment, it is under Mythology Project, which is right under Asynchronous Week. And here's the homework assignment. If you did not complete this homework assignment right here, the Google form, I suggest that before you move on with anything else with our asynchronous work, you get this homework assignment done. Okay? All right, that is all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching this long video. I truly believe that it will be helpful for you for this week. Please reach out if you have any questions, and don't forget to answer the question at the end of this video so you get credit for watching it. All right, have a wonderful week. Hopefully I see you guys during office hours. I would love to just to see your faces. And that's it. Bye.